What's happening, people? And once again, welcome back to youtube.com/CubCamTV for this, another edition of the CubCast, our now daily news series we have been running where we take a look at all the different news stories that are going on in and around the world of international music. We're based here in the UK, but we tend to cover genres such as Afrobeats, dancehall, amapiano, reggae, and everything in between, with trying to cover as many sort of journalistic angles as we can, and of course the releasing of albums, which is the big topic going on at the moment. Obviously, last week we saw the release and the launch of Burna Boy's Love Damini album, so we've been trying to cover that in as many ways as possible. We have got the official Reactives Roundtable podcast dropping today on the channel, featuring myself, Just Vibes, obviously Banks Reactions, Goals, and brand new edition Phoenix as well. So that's going to be a really good conversation. There's going to be a lot of discussion on that podcast about Burna's album. However, we are moving on to the next one, which is a very exciting one indeed, as we see the return of l.a.x, one of the most popular artists out there, without a doubt someone that has managed to really grip the sort of Afrobeat scene's attention, if you'll pardon the pun on that one, with realistically quite minimal amounts of releases. He's had such a unique style and approach over his sort of reign of appearances, and yet people have been flocking and gravitating towards his sound ever since he first came out. So this is a really exciting thing to be getting into, as he has announced the track listing for his brand new album, which does drop this Friday, Boy Alone. Again, we put some coverage together on the actual trailer for the album as well. And again, I'm really excited for this. I'm always excited to see new album projects, and there are a lot of things to get very specifically excited about on this one. So if you are new to the channel and you want to get more involved, please make sure you are getting involved by hitting that subscribe button on the right hand side of the page, turning notifications on, of course, leaving a like, leaving a comment, and all of that good stuff. So this album has had its track listing announced, and we've also seen a message put out there from OMAH towards the fans about why this has taken so long, his sort of journey and what's going on with him. So we're going to check out the track listing itself and have a little look at what's going on with the message as well, and how that could actually relate to how the track listing has come together. The first thing we noticed about the track listing is that there aren't many collaborations going on within it. We see the collaboration with Justin Bieber, Attention, which again is going back up the charts as we speak. We also see a link up with Tay-Awar, which I'm very excited for again. If you haven't checked out our interview with Tay-Awar that we got to see him live performing and then got to sit down and have a conversation with him, do make sure you check that out. It is on the channel. We're trying to do as much kind of feature-based stuff as we possibly can at the moment, and there's loads more of that stuff coming, trust me. So do check that out if you want to find out a bit more about what Tay-Awar's up to sound-wise. But again, this is quite an interesting scenario to find ourselves in, because obviously that Justin Bieber collab has been shooting back up the charts ever since this album was announced. I think it's back into the top 20 on the US Afrobeats Billboard chart, and that obviously does appear on the project. We see Understand appearing on the project as well, which is an interesting one, considering that Free My Mind isn't on there, and Free My Mind was actually released later on to Understand. Now, Understand is undoubtedly the stronger tune. Free My Mind isn't the strongest of OMAH tunes, but you'd presume that if something had been released a little bit later on down the line, it was more likely to be on there than Understand. However, Free My Mind is not on there. The full track listing as it currently stands, and the as it's been announced, as you can probably see in the bottom right hand corner, goes like this. Track number 1, we see Recognize. Track number 2 is I. Track number 3, Bend You. Track number 4, Woman, which is a part of that Justin Bieber collaborative release. That's the sort of single that goes along with the collab and the Disclosure remix. So there we go. Number 5, we see I'm a Mess. 6, we see Temptation. 7, we see Understand, as we've already discussed. 8, we see Never Forget. 9, we see Safe Haven. Number 10, we do see that collaboration, Attention, with Justin Bieber. 11, we see So So. 12, we see How to Love. 13, we see Tell Everybody featuring Tay-Awar. Again, a collaboration that I am so excited to hear, purely because of how many different directions that could go in. And number 14, we see Purple Song, which is presumably in a sort of conceptual idea towards the idea of Boy Alone. All the covers are kind of like purple, and it's just kind of him in sort of like a sea of purple on his own, so I'm assuming that's going to tie into that quite nicely. So again, once we've looked through that track listing, the thing that does kind of stand out quite drastically is the fact there are very few collaborations on there. Now, I'm going to read out the message that Tay-Awar has put out there towards his fans, which I feel could actually explain the lack of collaborations. This was put out on his Instagram page, but I want to make sure I'm reading it right, so I have brought it up on screen for myself, and you can check out the full thing on his Instagram page as well. So the actual message reads, I'm thankful. I'm thankful for finding my way back to music after a whole year of dealing with personal demons. Maybe I'll share more on that when I am ready. Again, so this album is already looking like it could be a bit of a journey based off that alone. He goes on to say, I'm thankful for the blessings and experiences that have shaped my music since my debut. Expectations of what, who, and how I should be meant no room for the real me, but I'm growing and rediscovering myself. Being the best me is a must. Again, this looks like quite an introspective journey we're actually hearing about, and I've got a funny feeling we will hear a lot about this sort of journey on the album. Again, OMAH has one of the best kind of vocal ranges, but again, the stories he tells a lot of the times are somewhat underrated, and I feel this album could be a great opportunity to explore that. He then says, lastly, I'm thankful for your patience as I work to make this album a reflection of my artistry, struggles, blessings, and my journey so far, and I can't wait to share it with you. See you on July the 15th. That is this Friday, 2 days away. And it's very, very exciting to see. I tend to find with albums, when they are just a combination of tracks all lumped together and thrown out there, sometimes they don't kind of maintain the weight that they should do, and I definitely feel with an OMAH project which is centered around that idea of kind of introspective traveling, the idea of him discovering himself again and kind of explaining his struggles and his journey, could be a very cool way of kind of taking his sound somewhere different. We know OMAH has a very kind of floaty overall texture to the way his sound kind of works, which traditionally ties in quite nicely to that idea of kind of introspective lyricism. You hear it on UK hip-hop a lot of the time. You hear it on, in general, rap a lot of the time. The idea of kind of floatier, more kind of emotive instrumentals being a really good backdrop from which people can explore their own personal journeys, and I've got a funny feeling this is an album that is going to do that quite heavily. Again, even with that sort of journey, the kind of conceptuality of tracks like Purple Song, I presume, and the sort of general sort of idea that we're getting off the track listing, it is quite a melancholy sounding project. There isn't much sort of there aren't many sort of uplifting titles. It does tend to be quite an emotional looking project. Even with that though, I am so excited to see this collaboration with Teyawa. Teyawa for me is one of the strongest vocalists out there. Again, the creativity is exceptional. Bad For You for me is one of my favourite releases of this year, purely because of how creative it is, and the kind of use of different vocals and kind of patterns and techniques. For me, this is really something that I would love to hear OMAH doing, straying away from that traditional kind of Afrobeat sort of rhythm. I'd love to hear him try something a little bit different, maybe something a little bit more traditional in the R&B sense. I know he's done the sort of rap side of things as well, but I would definitely like to hear him in a much more sort of R&B centric space with the kind of vocal experience he now has. So there we go, guys. I am very keen to hear your thoughts on this track listing, what we think about it being primarily a solo project. Do we think this is something that will suit OMAH? Do let me know in the comments section down below. I'm keen to hear all of your thoughts. Are you excited for the collaboration with Teyawa? Would you have liked to see more collaborations on the project? And if so, who would you have liked to have seen on there? Do we think this album is going to give OMAH the kind of credit that we all feel he does actually deserve as a vocalist? Let me know in the comments section down below, and I'm very keen to hear your thoughts, so please do not hold back. Let's go. As always, friends, if you are new to the channel as well, please make sure you are getting involved by hitting that subscribe button on the right-hand side of the page, turning notifications on, of course, leaving a like, leaving a comment, and all of that good stuff. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday. Don't forget, the second edition of the Reactors Roundtable podcast is coming out today as well, so keep your eyes peeled on the channel for that, and we shall see you all next time. Peace.
Sounding so good right now. But they're sounding a bright and town.
Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel right now, CubCast TV. Stay locked.